Alien. I love Alien, and those who know me personally can confidently back that up. I learned to draw as a kid because of Alien. I collected figures, I played the games, even when they weren't that great. It's a franchise I hold very close to my heart because it was what introduced me to cinema. From the moment I popped in that VHS tape, I was hooked, man. Its title sequence, its insanely detailed, retro dystopian aesthetic, its iconography, its score, and especially the artwork of H.R. Giger that inspired the iconic creature we've all grown to love. I ate that up and just honestly never ever stopped. And of course, as I got older, I grew to appreciate the deeper themes of corporate greed, capitalist exploitation, existential dread, and the fear of the unknown. So you bet your ass, man, I was hyped when I found out that the franchise was coming back in 2022 when Alien Romulus was first announced. I was tweaking, bro, absolutely geeking at the first trailer. It felt and looked like it was aiming to recapture what most of us loved about the original, offering a good, refreshing revisit of the first two movies and their aesthetic, after the sort of weird route Sir Ridley Scott left us with after Covenant.
Is that how it's done?
Yeah, that. Which quick little tangent before I continue with Romulus. Little 10 to 11-year-old me was there in theaters in 2012 when Prometheus came out. And I'm gonna flat out say, I'm a Prometheus fan. Yup, I said it. I don't give a I love that movie. It expanded the lore and offered a then fresh new take on the franchise, adding some needed spice to the universe, working as a compelling prequel to the original. The engineer concept and the implications from the early script regarding them basically having sent us Jesus, that shit was f***ing cool in my opinion, and I thought it was really awesome. Were there terrible, and I mean completely stupid decisions made by the characters in the movie? Yes. Was I expecting to actually see a xenomorph archetype? Because the Deacon, the weird thing at the end of the movie, is a creature the engineers worship, reverse engineering its DNA, leading them to create the pathogen that then Weyland-Yutani has a hard-on for, after Unc Weyland bites it for trying to press his baldy god, eventually leading to the death of potentially hundreds in the company's shady, relentless pursuit of the of the perfect organism they first encountered, not including alien Earth all those years ago? Yeah, I know my shit, man. I know my And not just in the last 20 seconds? Yes. But for a prequel that came out 33 years after the original, there was no way the hype wouldn't drown out the film's deeper and unique takes and eventually lead to its undeniable split opinion on whether it was a dogwater movie or a peak addition to the franchise. Just like what's going on now between Alien Earth and Alien Romulus. Now, bringing it back to Alien Romulus, it definitely served its purpose as a nostalgic and refreshing revisiting of the universe, offering some needed grounding to the franchise after the Alien Covenant route that never got concluded. It brought back Big Chap, be it mostly in comic form, Ash, it expanded on the company, on its research, it tied loose ends to the prequels, now fully disregarding them to the canon, it introduced us to a new freaky-ass mutation of the pathogen, and gave us plenty of facehuggers to have nightmare fuel of. And honestly, a pretty good amount of Alien. Not a lot, or as much as I'd like, but a good amount. It was shot great, it had a good score, and above all, it had human characters who for the most part didn't make stupid-ass decisions, who I cared for and wanted to win, and it left us wanting more. Which at this moment in time, we are getting a sequel, so yeah, that's hype as f***, and I'm excited to see it. So yes, I definitely left the theater that July of last year fulfilled, and I've since rewatched it maybe 6-7 times, and I can confidently say that it's a solid addition to the franchise and what we desperately needed at the time. But with that, I will also say it's not that good. In my opinion, after the hype of my first viewing died down, and I saw it a second time, I found that once my childhood wonder was gone, the movie was just kinda good. Nostalgic? Yes, but still a very safe movie. It did just enough to add some lore and cool new memorable moments, but overall it was pretty straightforward and generic. It was like Alien for the first hour-ish, then Prometheus for like 2 minutes, then Aliens for like 30, then Alien Resurrection for like the last 10 minutes, but actually done right this time.
Beautiful, beautiful little baby.
It was a love letter to the past, something to hook us into the franchise, to then introduce us to a different direction, which honestly was probably the right move. I'm not sure if Fede Alvarez and Fox Disney sort of planned this out to match Alien Earth and its tone, but it definitely worked out in the show's favor because, man, am I geeking over this show. Now, onto Alien Earth. Alien Earth is Fox Disney's newest installment in the Alien franchise, currently sitting at a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes and an 85% on Metacritic, as opposed to Alien Romulus's 80% Rotten Tomatoes score and 64 Metacritic score. Which I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard the plot revolved around a group of kids navigating an island fighting off a xenomorph, I rolled my eyes. But yes, there are kids who get their consciousness transferred into synthetic bodies that then fight off aliens. Is it crazy? Absolutely. Is it weird? Yup. But does it work? Yes, it does. It's what sets this show apart from Romulus in a huge way, and I definitely think it largely has a part to do with the fact that it's a show as opposed to it being a feature-length film. A limited series allows us to spend time in the world and its characters, adding much needed depth to the franchise. Spoilers ahead for Alien Earth. You've been warned. Due to the length of the episodes, I'll mostly be talking about the pilot, the hook of the show, as well as a few cool things in the later episodes that tie into the pilot, and some other quirky details I took note of to close off my reasoning as to why Alien Earth works better for the franchise than Romulus. So without further ado, let's begin. The pilot episode introduces us to an amazing opening title sequence featuring Noah Hawley's and Jeff Russo's cover of Strange Brew by Cream. More specifically, the Strange Brew Kill What's Inside of You lyrics. That really set the tone of the show as a melancholic, wondrous, and perilous journey into these corporations, those that work for them, those who fight against them, and the terrible things these characters are about to endure. Which each episode has its own little twist to the opening title sequence montage that is just so cool. The episode spends only 10 to 15 minutes on the ship carrying the life forms shown later in the show, showing that we don't really need another Lost in Space alien movie, focusing more on the crash and the clash between these mega corporations running Earth, mainly Weyland-Yutani and Prodigy, the rival company at odds with Weyu, who also control the outer solar system and many other planets. The episode takes its time exploring Wendy, who is the first child to be transferred into a synthetic, her relationship with her brother, who doesn't know she's alive because Prodigy likes to take in kids who are dying and hide them from their families after they essentially make them immortal, and this crash, which throws us into this really interesting situation involving these shady companies essentially on an arms race to get to these alien creatures first, exploiting anyone and everyone to get what they want, even these kids.
Think about it, he didn't even come visit you when you were sick.
Joe was working. He was far away.
Oh my God, it's too far, it's too hard. All I know is if I was your brother, I'd find a way to be there.
Similarly to how Romulus expanded on the commentary and lore regarding Weyland-Yutani and its obvious disregard for their workers and quality of life. Haven't seen Rain get her contract extended by several years, forced to choose between being worked to death like her parents or finding a way out of the company's grasp. Anyway, Kirsch, a synthetic science officer, leads the kids into the crash site to retrieve these alien creatures for their boss, CEO of Prodigy Boy Cavalier, otherwise known as the Boy Genius, as Wendy calls him. And simultaneously, Wendy's brother, Hermit, a combat medic working under Prodigy, arrives on the scene, which showcases the mayhem and destruction the crash caused on the Prodigy citizens and the city, which we find out later in episode 5, while Morrow, a cyborg chief security officer working for Weyland-Yutani, discovers that Boy Cavalier orchestrated the crash by manipulating one of the workers aboard the ship carrying the specimens to trigger its descent into his own city.
You bring me these creatures and you're gonna go to the top of the list with a bullet.
What if I don't survive the crash?
Well, that would suck for you, wouldn't it?
Bro wanted these things so bad he was willing to kill however many dozens, if not hundreds, of his own citizens in just the crash alone to get them. Honestly, I should have known he was that kind of guy, given his complete and utter lack of empathy regarding Wendy wanting to see her brother.
It was hurting Joe.
Oh, right, the brother. What do you think they're saying? The aliens.
And just flat out gaslighting these kids into doing anything he asks and pitting them against each other to just have an intelligent conversation.
You're just not smarter.
And Kirsch?
Kirsch is information smart. Data cross-references with the musings of every great philosopher, but that's not wisdom. For once in my life, I want to climb to the top of the mountain and debate with someone who blows my mind.
And you think that's the children?
Maybe. the very least, my hope is that by giving Wendy a supercomputer for a brain and training by the best geniuses money can buy, I'll finally be able to have an interesting fucking conversation.
Yeah, dude is like the performative final boss. He can transfer human consciousness into robot bodies, but has the survival instincts of a Prometheus scientist, which the show cheekily pokes fun at in episode 5, when one character philosophically rants about the paradox of stupidity.
Not a victory for the enemy of reason.
What does that mean?
It means this space bug is proof of how stupid smart people can be. Smart enough to build ships capable of space travel, of splitting the atom and decoding the genome, but too stupid to realize you don't bring parasites home with you.
But at least Kirsch seems to want him around a bit longer, given that he could have totally let him get capped by the facehugger in episode 2, but who knows. Anyway, this leads the crews into the ship, discovering these 5 alien specimens, Morrow fighting off Prodigy's cleanup crew, essentially ending episode 1, as Wendy, Kirsch, and her band of kid soldiers are about to land into Prodigy City. The episode closes off with a powerful dialogue exchange between Kirsch and Wendy. He tells her she used to be food, and goes on to explain to her how she's essentially on top of the evolutionary food chain.
My brother is not gonna die.
Of course he will.
Everyone okay?
Yeah.
Boss! We keep going.
Injury, illness, old age, they all do. Generation after generation.
Further cementing his possibly sinister motives, Wendy can be seen to understand what he's saying, but chooses to defy his cold logic and stand by her goal of saving her brother's life. This scene alone is already 10 times better than like half of Romulus. Sue me. And sue me, dude. This was my first glimpse into these deeper themes I mentioned earlier that make this show stand out. Kirsch telling Wendy this, who is still obviously a child, seems off-putting and irresponsible, but he says it because he sees that she knows she's more. She knows she's no longer human, and although he doesn't care about her much, he at least acknowledges her as an equal, or at the very least, someone above this endless cycle of death humanity is shackled to. They no longer have to fear the rot of time, or the dooming patterns of human civilization, because they'll outlive it all. Or at least that's what I interpreted from it, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of just a quirky, edgy, deep guy, so I guess I see something in the show that not many people see. Anyway, that's a pretty damn strong intro to the show, and the ratings definitely back it up. As of right now, it sits at a 100% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and the following episodes continue to expand on these themes. Episode 2 fleshed out the kid characters a bit more, as well as Cavalier. Episode 3 was where it really started to get good with the dialogue exchange between Kirsch, Morrow, and Slightly, the Prodigy Island, the creatures being studied, and Hermit losing a lung, which then gets a xenomorph embryo embedded in it, and gets really weird when Wendy is teased to be able to communicate or at least understand xenomorphs. What the right? This is where I think audiences started splitting. Some seem to have an issue with the plot and the kids, calling it woke and overly philosophical and all this other shit, which is insane because is this not what Alien is? Look at H.R. Giger's work. I mean, the alien creature itself is an allegory for SA and SV. Look at the original film. Aliens leaned more into the action, but the franchise has always had this air of mystery that elevates its horror. Questions like who made us? Where do we come from? When should we stop pursuing what we don't understand? What is death? Who can I trust? When is a machine not a machine? Should we be able to create life? Is life worth creating? Is Ice Age canon to the Alien universe? Like, all these questions keep the franchise fresh, not fucking Cailee Spaeny auto-aim insta-killing xenomorphs or a giant fetus monster. The xenomorphs getting murked and the giant fetus monsters only work because of these questions, the mystery and the horror surrounding them. Which brings me to a complaint I've been seeing a lot in other videos and articles, and it's that it's just too weird, too out there, or flat out dumb, when it's technically following the lore of the universe. The lore that the first 2 movies, that a lot of the fans hold above a lot of the others, seem to forget. Wendy is able to communicate to the xenomorph, because she's got a sensitivity to their frequency. So she commands it. It's just like how the Queen in Aliens commands the drones in that movie. So the weird checks out. I think fans just don't like the way it's executed, but I mean, I believe it. These kids are put in bodies where they can read entire books in seconds, and Wendy clearly has some strange ability to warp and alter frequencies. Some people question, oh, but why are they super smart and then act like stupid-ass kids? But that's the point. The show explores the disconnect between intelligence and emotional maturity, especially when thrown into artificial bodies. They are still easily manipulated and can be corrupted by the hands of more sinister forces because they are still kids, despite how quickly they're able to gain intellectual knowledge. I see that Alien is what fans want. I see Aliens as something the fans adore and appreciate for its tonal shift in the franchise, but why can't it be both? It's funny to me that when a show like this leans towards the mystery of the first film, it gets shit on, just like Prometheus did. But Cailee Spaeny blasting away is cool in peak cinema, which, by the way, no hate on Cailee Spaeny, she's great in Romulus, but like, come on, man. Science fiction breaks boundaries, asks questions. It's its greatest strength. Alien is built for that. And from what I've seen so far is that this show has done just that. Alien Romulus gave us the nostalgic fix we wanted at the time, but Alien Earth exceeds that in my opinion, and is ultimately a better installment to the universe. Wendy communicating with the xenomorph is insane and weird, but if it works, it works, man. The eyeball thing, taking human hosts and fighting the alien is badass and weird as but again, it works. It even maybe explains why the xenomorph has a flat dome, showing some sort of evolutionary advantage the xenomorph has over other life forms. See, shit like that wouldn't be present if this show didn't take weird-ass risks. The commentary on technology and sentience and cinema is damn near oversaturated, but the way the show is going about it is so refreshing and interesting to watch unfold. Nibs thinking she's pregnant after going through a traumatic experience, hinting at a past of even more trauma, exploring the complex emotions of a human child inhabiting a fully grown body, yet unable to truly understand how pregnancy works, and lashing out when told otherwise is fucking weird, but extremely captivating. Morrow completely losing his life back home after giving over 60 years to Weyland-Yutani, essentially making his sole purpose in life being to capture the xenomorph as he's got nothing else to lose, showcases the toll Weyland-Yutani has on its workers. Greatly expands the lore, right? Boy Cavalier, this egotistical genius with an unquenched thirst for knowledge and intellectual challenge, stopping at nothing to finally speak to something he feels is truly better than him, even if it's an eyeball alien inside a sheep spitting out fucking pie, is insane, but it works. Alien Earth is a million times more interesting because it takes risks. It pushes the boundary of what we think we know about the alien universe and expands on its already perfect foundations. I'm glad it's taking this more Blade Runner-esque route, as it's another huge favorite franchise of mine, and one that is so greatly explorative of its themes on human nature and consciousness that I just can't help but nerd out over it. It's fucking cool, dude. And I think people should continue to give this show a chance. It's got great cinematography, a great score, great performances, good set design, and for those who want more OG spaceship claustrophobic alien, episode 5 is entirely on the ship, further expanding on how it ended up crashing at the beginning of the series, and there are more actual xenomorph scenes with the thing in frame for more than 3 to 5 seconds in this show than in the entirety of Romulus. And what makes it better is that it's actually cool to watch. It's the perfect blend of costume, animatronics, and CGI. To elaborate further on that, I don't understand the people hating on some of the shots with the xenomorph looking like it's a dude in a costume. It's really silly because for a long time, and even outside of Alien entirely, people have complained about CGI and its reliance on it. But when we actually get stunts with the alien running and jumping and slicing people up, and maybe 2 or 3 shots look like it's a dude in a costume or an animatronic, what the it doesn't look real? Like, pick a fucking struggle. It doesn't look real? When Alien Covenant Xenomorph, from what I remember at the time of its release, was critiqued for being overly dynamic or weightless. But now it's too blocky and heavy. Okay. That's a big turnoff when the show has a talking sheep alien, kid consciousness transferred into robot bodies. Seriously? Oh, the kid's acting like kids still, and a fully grown robot body is super dumb and unrealistic, but the alien, oh man, why can't that look and feel more real? Why is that a guy in a costume? Why don't they actually get a xenomorph on set to film these scenes? Like, fucking goofballs, bro. Goofballs. Forced hate. Forced hate bait, dude. It's really forced, man. It's fucking dumb. I'm convinced a lot of the show's hate is just for exposure. I mean, a ton of these videos just completely critique things that you can critique about any other show, but they highlight it because it's Alien or because it's got a quirk, you know, that it's got kids in robot bodies, so we're gonna just gravitate towards everything being dumb because it's got that and it's really quirky and it's stupid and the alien is a pet. And it's like, dude, the xenomorph existing as a creature at all, the conception of its design is weird and fucking quirky and ugly and, you know, very graphic. How are you not gonna have something like that, right, be part of sci-fi, be part of this genre, and not be open to expanding on it in a way that they could have really butchered it. It could have been really, really dumb, but it's not. I don't see how it is. You know what I mean? Or, you know, even the things they say or do, these kids in these bodies, right? Or I guess they're not human anymore, but the way they're struggling about it, the commentary on that, I find it to be really interesting, and I just don't understand why people are so fucking pressed about it. You know, people saying, oh man, the eyeball thing is the highlight of the show, not even the xenomorph. It's like, yeah, I mean, but it's cool, right? And if it gets another season, I'm sure there's gonna be more Alien in it. And again, this show has way more cool practical implications for the xenomorph. You see it run, jump, slash people up. You see it camouflaging. You see it close-ups. You see mid-shots. You see it doing, you know, a bunch of crazy shit, and it's cool. I don't get what there would be to complain about. You know what I mean? Sure, you don't have to love it. Like, I'm not saying, you know, I'm a diehard Alien fan, but a lot of the audience's commentary on the show is just very negative, and I don't know, I just think it's pretty unfair given, you know, we've had Alien Resurrection, Alien 3, we've had Alien Covenant, Prometheus, you know, a lot of these movies that flopped or didn't do well because of people's opinion, or they were just fucking poop, that, you know, it's like, come on, man, this show isn't that bad. You know, if you butcher shit like this, then we're just gonna get another Covenant. We're just gonna get another stupid ass revamp, almost half remake Romulus, right? Like, I mean, we're getting Romulus 2. I hope it expands and does something different, but, you know, people are begging for more Predator, more Alien, and now that we're getting it, it's like, oh, what the hell? It's fucking dumb. It's like if people complained about Predator, Killer of Killers, having a woman Viking be part of the story, right? When it's like, is that the focus of the movie? You got 4 other stories from what I remember, right? 5. You got different periods, you got different Predators, you got what you wanted, right? Everybody wanted Samurai Predator, we got Samurai Predator, like, the Viking woman? Oh, but, and what? And why are Vikings and Samurais talking to each other? They wouldn't even know how, and why are they on another planet? Why is this Predator, like, getting overpowered? It doesn't make any damn sense. It's like, come on, man, just enjoy the fucking movie. It's a fucking movie. Holy shit. And I don't know, little rant there. Back to being a little more constructive. In conclusion, Alien Earth is weird, but it's done right. We haven't gotten a good sequel since Romulus, but we haven't gotten anything interesting since Prometheus. And I'd rather go with weird and interesting than copy and paste safe, but that's just me. Alien Romulus walked, reintroducing us to the universe, offering some sprinkles of lore and expansion so that Alien Earth could take that and run. And it's definitely running into some crazy territory that I honestly can't wait to see. So yeah, thanks for listening to my TED Talk on why Alien Earth isn't buns. I'm gonna go touch some grass now. Spent like 4 days trying to edit this, couldn't record the audio, and then iOS 26 finally forced itself onto my phone, so then now, hopefully the audio sounds better, because I added like better background noise muffling, whatever. But yeah, been wanting to make this for a while, so cool. Hope you guys enjoy it. Like, comment, and subscribe to see/hear more of me rambling on about cinema and aliens and predators and all this silly, quirky stuff. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye.